Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we have two assistants behind us that's helping with us. The first one is my granddaughter Natalie. Step up here, Natalie. Smile. Okay. Now her brother Bradley, who's working the camera today, he's going to step up here and say hello. Come up here, Bradley. Okay.
Hello.
Okay. All right. Back on the camera, Bradley. All right. Today we're going to cut some of this stuff off. We don't need it anymore. We have the new stuff over here. We're going to start putting it in. It's welded up. Everything's true. I have it on a rolling mount so I can adjust it up or down and back and forth. So we're going to cut this off so I can remove the firewall, put the new firewall in, and at that point we can attach this to it. It's a long process, a lot of measurements, a lot of worry, but we're going to do it. So we're going to do it right now. We're probably going to go time lapse here, so you don't see, you don't have to watch through a whole bunch of junk. But the first part we're going to cut off right here. Let me get my safety glasses. Okay, here's the technical staff today. Bradley and Natalie. They're on the camera. They're slinging the camera today. All right, let's get back to the other side of this car. It's amazing going to the corded sawzall or reciprocating saw. I don't think that's really technically a sawzall, but it's a reciprocating saw. You can have that. But it's amazing how much more powerful that is using a battery one. Anyway, so I'm going to trim this up a little bit because we're going to cut this out. You may have noticed that in my playing, I went ahead and cut this side, including the torque box. The torque box is a pretty hard thing to cut through because it's a lot thicker metal. So we'll have to do the same thing over here, and then we'll come across here roughly, cut the floor out, and then all this from here down, essentially back to the whole floor, should essentially be gone. I'm going to leave part of the floor in until I get this put back in, and then I'll cut the rest of the floor out and install the full floor pan. The front end cut off. I've sliced the torque boxes pretty much free on the driver's side. I got a finish down here on the passenger side. What we're going to do is, you probably see my first cut is right through here. We're going to leave this, we're going to cut the floor right here, all the way over here in front of the seat mounts. Go up here, we're going to take out this part of the floor. We're going to leave this in right now temporarily until we get the firewall installed, which will firm up the front of the car. Then I'll finish cutting out the rest of the firewall, and we'll grind down the edges. As you can tell, I'm not being very accurate or precise on the side cuts. I'm just wanting to get the bulk out of the way, and I can come back with the grinders and the spot weld cutters, if I can see them, and get those taken care of. Anyway, so I'm going to cut right now across here to right here. Well, half the floor is out. Most all the firewall is out. We're going to cut some more of it out later. But we got the firewall and the front part. You can see where it's been patched. You can see where cutting it, I had to cut the frame rails right here, which is fine. And right here is the bottom part of the torque box. And this is galvanized from the factory, so that saved it.
From what?
From rusting. We'll grind these down right here, get rid of that. Look right here, you can see the torque box is rusted out. Torque box comes over here and welds to the bottom frame rail right here. And this is the fender apron right there. That does look like a little bit of primer inside there, which surprises me. But here's a better picture of one that is not rusted totally out right over here. See how it's welded to it? Just spot welded in. We can certainly, and here's the braces, we can certainly approximate that and put it back. Back up, sis. One thing I am concerned about is getting the tube out that is for the emergency brake cable, because the torque boxes that you buy doesn't have a tube in them. They have a cutout for the place for the tube, but they don't have a tube. And the tube goes in through the floor inside the car, slides through in the back, goes through right here, goes here and pulls and elongates the cable, putting on the parking brake or emergency brake, as you may want to call it. Anyway, so that's all we're going to do today. When they put it together, Ford knew how to put it together.
Okay.
They had big spot welders, which are they're like big jaws. Okay. And Bradley, be careful now, okay? And they got a lot of amperage.
Okay.
And when they come together, they're copper.
Okay.
Weld does not stick to copper.
Okay.
So they would come together and they would pinch it. And when they pinch it, it would form a conduction, a drift punch in. And when you put the drift punch in it, it would line it up, and then they weld it.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, in fact, if you look right here, see that hole right there?
Yeah, that's where one would
That's
be.
a drift punch hole. They put something in it and welded it.
Yep.
That lined it up perfectly for them.
Very cool.
But
What in the world is that?
it's a pair of needle nose pliers.
I've just never seen it with this part on it.
Well,
Look.
I do that, and it's the only pair has just a piece of rubber fuel line on the back of them, and its natural flexibility keeps them always open, because you don't want to come up with something and go open them. You know.
Makes sense.
So,
These are the things I never would have known.
little things. Be sure to press like and subscribe.
And subscribe.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.